The exploration of understanding the food better, understanding the food by the quality, by the gunas, if it's sharp or if it's soft or smooth or dry or rough or hot or cold. And then like this also by being able to perceive the quality of the food. Then if you are in an aggravated state of Vata, then you know that you have to go with the qualities opposite to Vata. If you are in imbalance with Kapha, that is heavy, slimy, cold, dull, slow, then you need to give the opposite qualities to bring again movement, heat, stimulate the digestive power. So all these qualities are very much important to decide when you're going to take food, because this will be the one that, at least by the quality, that you can rebalance on your own. You don't need to seek for advice or even medicine, because then in your kitchen you have either that enough food or herbs or aromatic herbs to give you also the response whenever a Vata is aggravated or a Kapha is aggravated or a Pitta is aggravated. So spending some time on food, I find it very important because it's our medicine on a daily basis. So, first, the way to select the food. Whenever we're going to choose some food, because we are more conscious on the effect it does on our body, because we also want to have a little bit more time for us to be able to prepare something that we like and not just grab and eat quickly something just to satisfy the appetite. No, we want to be a little bit more aware also of why we are choosing certain food or not. So there are 8 principles in Ayurveda that helps you to choose and select the proper food that is also adapted to your constitution and who you are. So the first one is nature of food, the prakruti of the food. So that would be a food you choose according to the qualities, according to the 20 gunas that the food has. So the nature of food will be of any of these qualities. So here it's a group of 10 qualities and their opposite. So when we think of 20, it's actually two groups of 10. So you can remember 10 and then you will have the opposite. So we have heavy. When it comes to those little drawings here, those drawings are to refer to the 5 elements. So which one would be more dominant? So we have heavy and light. So that would be as soon as you eat it, how do you feel after eating it? Do you feel heavy or do you feel light? Is it slow or is it quick? So you will see also during the digestion, is it something that takes longer to be digested or is it something that goes in no time? So here we can make the difference between, for example, proteins that needs in general more energy or more time to be digested, and quick would be something that is quite light, quite fast in digestion. And spices, for example, they have this quickness, like they ignite the fire, so they become quick and fast to digest anything. Then we have cold and hot. So whenever you eat something, do you feel after a sense of like refresh, or do you feel heat? The sweat is coming to you. Unctuous and dry. So unctuous would be, for example, when you take the chia seeds, you drop them in liquid, and then it has something aqueous around the chia seeds. Unctuous and dry. So dry would dry your mouth or your tongue when you eat. Smooth and rough. Smooth would be the skin of an apricot. So when you put it in your mouth also, it feels like smooth and round. Rough would be spiky or would be like pepper sand. solid and liquid. So do you need to chew longer to reduce it, or liquid, does it go fast into the stomach? Soft and hard. So yeah, that will be about the density of the product. Stable and mobile. These 20 gunas are the gunas that are related to the matter, to any matter that are made of 5 elements. And those 5 elements coming in combination with different proportion will give qualities to the object, the table, anything, the food, or us, our structure, our anything that we produce, basically. Mobile could be air. When we eat, there's always a little bit of air coming in. Or popcorn. Or Then subtle and gross. So subtle would be before taking the food, you give a prayer to the food, and you take the subtle energy of the food, and you nourish yourself, you nourish your senses, or just by smelling also. You nourish first your senses with the good smell or the colors in your plate. So it has something nourishing and something warm for the heart. The saliva starts coming to the mouth. So that would be the subtle part of the food. And the gross part is whenever you eat, you chew. All what comes out of this chewing then will be also what is. So in this gross form, we have the 6 tastes. What are the 6 tastes that come in contact with your tongue, and that will give also all the information of how you're going to digest it and what would be the effect on the body, if it's cooling or if it's stimulating, if it's nourishing or if it's decreasing, reducing. Then we have Vishada, which is clear, opposite to slimy. So clear always has a sense of no oiliness, nothing. It's more aqueous. Yeah, it's more like water. Something that doesn't have any greasiness or any color or nothing. Right, so these are the 20 gunas when we select the food that we're going to take into account. Then processing and transforming the food. According to what you buy or according to what you want to eat, how are you going to use it? Or how are you going to process it or to transform it? Because most of the time, bringing a transformation to it can also help with the digestion. So being Vata or Kapha with an appetite or with a digestion that can be heavy or can be irregular, this transforming point for them is very much important because it will bring some added quality to be able to absorb it much better or to digest it much better. So what do we have with the transforming of the food? 2 kinds. We have the solid food or liquid, what we come into the body. So whenever it's solid, there are many different ways of transforming the food. Either diluting to make it less heavy or to make it less tasty or to make it a little bit more palatable or enjoying. For example, like a juice, mango juice, for example, that can be quite thick. Whenever you take the juice, then you want maybe to put a little bit of water to make it more digest, or not like you want to drink it as a juice and not to eat it as a puree or as a compote or as a jam. So diluting would be taking the product and adding something on it. Heating or cooking, and anything that you're going to transform, as soon as you're going to bring some heat to a product, you're going to make it easier to digest compared to raw food. So again, for the Vata and Kapha, everything that goes through the cooking and that is eaten warm and cooked with spices will always be very good for Vata and Kapha. And the tool, whatever you use also to cook, will have a certain influence on the quality of food. It is said that if you cook it slowly like they used to on the fire and in an earthen pot, the food also gain more qualities in terms of taste and in terms of digestion, because it's cooked but not sharp. So it takes some time, and especially for whole grains and for legumes like beans and beans, peas, chickpeas and all legumes, yeah, they really need to take their time to be able to cook, and then they don't create any flatulence or any indigestion or bloating. So for certain ingredients, the longer the better. So cooked on fire is good, or gas, that's also another possibility. One that has less effect on the cooking and doesn't bring anything onto the cooking is cooking with electric or inductions. Cleansing. So, which food you're using the food also that will have an effect. For example, you have food poisoning, or you have some issue or mucus, like you need an expectorant and all. The food also has this property of cleansing, clearing the body from any toxin or any residue or things that it's difficult to get rid of. Churning would be also another way of processing. So the churning can be done on raw food or raw material, or on cooked food. We can choose. Storing. So how are you going to keep the food for the winter when you live in cold climate? You have all the fruits and vegetables in late spring, summer, and maybe early falls, but then after for winter, not much. So how are you going to store it? Are you going to store it dry? Are you going to dry it first? Are you going to put it in salt? Are you going to put it to make some jars, sterilized jars? So storing like many different ways. Maturing, cheese, for example. So you make some different kind of cheese, and how are you going to make it more mature? And here it's just a question of time. Basically, you come back after a few days, weeks, or months, and you have the new product. Like ghee, for example, if you buy a pot of ghee now and you take it in 20 years' time, it would have more value than the ghee you eat that is freshly made. Flavoring. So that could be, for example, marinating food. You have some raw food or cooked food, and you leave it with oil and aromatic herbs, and you leave it for some time to make the taste a little bit different. Impregnating. You cut a zucchini, for example, and inside you're going to stuff it with, but you want the taste of the aromatic herbs or of the product you use to go into the fibers of the food. And preserving. So here will be with salt. You can preserve with salt, or you can preserve airtight, or you can preserve in oil. Yes. So all the different ways of processing and transforming the food. When it comes to liquid, there are different ways of transforming or using the product to extract the liquid of it. This, in order, it's from the heaviest, I would say, the heaviest to digest to the lightest. So that means from the one that has more potency on you to heal, for example, rather than the last one that is quite mild, the effect that it has on the body. So extracting the juice of any product, you get the essence of the product. Little bit less of pulp, so it makes it lighter to digest compared to any solid food, but still you have all the properties, all the qualities of the food when you extract the juice. So it can be with an extractor, it can be with a centrifuge, it could be with a blender, grinder, also, and then whatever comes out, it's the juice. Then we have diluted paste or pulp. So this extracted juice, if it's really pulpy or with lots of fiber, you can add a little bit of water or warm water to it, and it will make it also lighter to digest. Then the decoction. So now we are taking the product, the herbs, and we put it in some water, and we bring it to boil for, normally, if we take 1 part of herbs, 4 parts of water, and we reduce it to half. And then we have the proper decoction. And that means the longer you leave it to boil, so it reduces, the longer it reduces, the stronger the taste. Whereas if you don't want it so strong, then you can leave it for 10, 15 minutes, and you can choose also the quality. But making a decoction is different from an infusion, because here everything boiled together. With the cold infusion, you're going to take the water from room temperature, and you're going to add some seeds, or to add some herbs, or to add some medicinal plants, and you will leave it for some time until the water changes color and changes the taste. And so that would be a cold infusion, and that you drink whenever you want. You can dispose also the seeds or herbs you put in it. You don't need to eat. Only if we do it with the fennel seeds, for example, we eat the fennel seeds. But if we do the same with coriander seeds, we don't eat the coriander. So cold infusion will be very good for Pitta people, because it's room temperature. They have no issue in drinking waters. But for Vata and Kapha people, these people might have some issues even digesting water. They might feel that it feels a little bit heavy on the stomach. So for them, they will go for hot infusion. Cold infusion also, they are very good in the summer. For example, you have mint leaves, you leave them in water, and in the afternoon you drink this water. It feels refreshing and with a little flavor, instead of just drinking plain water. That can give different options of things to drink. And hot infusion, it's the lightest way we can take the plants. So we will not really use it as a medicine, because it doesn't have so much power, but as a support of medicine to help your health. How to combine food. And this refer also to the state of agony, the state of digestion of each one of us. If we are Vata, knowing that Vata has an appetite that is irregular, a digestion that is irregular, the more complex the plate for the Vata, the more difficult to digest. So for the Vata people, it's better to go more like with 1 protein, 1 vegetable, 1 lipids, or 1 cereal, and not mix many different things together. This combination of food has a lot to do with the state of digestion, how we are capable of digesting. The Pitta people can mix many things differently, it doesn't matter, because they have a very good digestive power. And the Kapha people, they will go also more like the Vata people. They don't need to mix so many things, because it might make the digestion a little bit too heavy, and then might go for a sleep after food. So first, for the state of digestion, combination of food for the different doshas will be of different kind. Then also the food itself, if it's combined with the wrong food, it will create lots of heaviness. I don't know if you've noticed already some wrong combinations you did, and then after you realized, like, why did I do that? And there are also some wrong combinations that the body is not happy. But for example, a typical one, all the dairy products, for example, they are not good mixed with one another. With fish, definitely not. With salt, definitely not. Like milk. Milk and salt, no good friends. Fish and milk, not good friends. Fish and yogurt also can be trouble. Milk with cheese, don't like. Or cheese and yogurt, don't like either. Another one that is not of a good quality, ghee and honey. It's not something that we do in the same proportion, ghee and honey. Externally, it's good because it helps to heal any wound, or if you have any rashes or on the skin, it can help. But internally, it would become also some toxic substance. And then the quantity. So you're not going to eat more than your capacity. So the stomach will be the size receiving the food. We don't want to stretch it too much, but we don't want to give just little bit so it reduces. We need to give the proper quantity of food. So your appetite, you're feeling hungry, will tell you how much you want to eat. And normally the common sense, your eyes, what it sees in the plate, should be of the quantity that you need. If you are not quite sure, then both hands together would be the proper quantity of your food. The quantity will be also depending on, so the Prakriti, Vata will have less in quantity, but maybe more often. Pitta will have probably 3 meals, but good meals, nicely served with a good portion. And Kapha will go for 3 meals maybe, but
some snacks in between.
We will have to take the food on the side and say that's it. Yeah. The age also, depending on your age, you're going to see the quantity being different. Childhood till puberty, the portion can be quite generous, but then after puberty, portions are enormous. Then after coming to around late 20s, 30 years, slowly we can see that we don't need so much food or proportion, or maybe dinner becomes a little bit lighter, or breakfast becomes a little bit lighter. Not all the 3 meals are big. And then with the age going, slowly the portions also reduce. Depending on the activity, if you are physically active, a day where you're going to burn calories, for sure, the plate you're going to eat before or after will be also of different quantity. What you eat, if it's food that is quite light, airy, like all the different gunas we saw previously, if you eat potatoes or if you eat rucola, you're going to have a different quantity also in your plate. The habitat of food, so where the food comes from. It is known that in temperate climates or climates that have all the different seasons with the rain, wind, cold, heat, sunshine, exposure to sun and all, the ground, the soil will be more fertile or will have more nourishment. So the food that comes from a climate that is quite varied, the food coming from there will be also with better qualities or more vitamins, more mineral. The food that comes from desert landscape, the soil being not so rich, then the food also will be a little bit less in quality. So in Auroville, for example, that the land has been now worked for quite some time also by bringing compost and trying to, with the permaculture, to bring more nourishment to the soil. The food slowly is gaining in quality. But still, if we look at the fruits, and it takes time, it doesn't grow so fast and big as in regions where there's more variety of climate. So where it's coming from also will tell you if it will give you lots of nourishment or if you need to take supplements. And sometimes also during consultations, people said that they feel the food here, it's not nourishing. Even if they had a good plate with lots of food to eat, after eating, still a sensation, didn't reach satiation. And maybe because there is a lack of vitamins or minerals that prevent to give the satiation. Especially in this area, the more varied we go, we need to try everything we eat, because every plant will bring different sets of vitamins and minerals. So we need to go with lots of variety in colors, in shapes, in forms, in way of taking it. Juices, cooked, extracted juice or whatever. The time of growth. So also seasonal fruits and seasonal vegetables will always have all the qualities that are required for the season to stay healthy and to keep good vitality and enthusiasm. So eating food in the proper season will be the best for health. And also there are some plants, some herbs, fruits that grow during the day or flower during the night. And also knowing if it's a plant that, or a flower, for example, that opens during the day or opens during the night, it will give you indications on what it does to the body. If it's during the day, it might be giving a quality of stimulating. It follows the sun, so it might need the sun, so that means it can increase the heat, or it can give some stimulation or some digestive power. If it's at night, it might be, the property might be more cooling, calming, or for the nerves, for example, to keep them more calm. So anything that comes up during the night. And then the food you're going to select during your childhood, lots of cereals to grow. Adulthood, slowly the cereals, we don't need them so much, and we focus with the protein, vegetables, and cereals if we do some physical work, but otherwise. And seniorhood, the portion will reduce and maybe take the more often. So also your growth, your inner growth is important to know how you're going to eat and in what way. Nutritional rules. So there are the 13 rules that we're going to see just after this. And this definitely depends on your digestive power. So it's always linked to imagining that you have a perfect digestive power. When it's time to eat, stomach is ready, you feel hungry and ready to eat something. During eating, you take your time and you go through. So you eat when you're feeling hungry, and also you will feel hungry when the previous food is digested, otherwise you wouldn't. So eating when feeling hungry is the first thing. Then food should be warm and prepared with fat. The ghee or any refined oil will allow also to stimulate the digestive power, to increase the way you're going to digest. And in Ayurveda, we always prefer to have some food that is cooked warm rather than raw. Raw food will be served as a side dish, but not as a main dish, because the fibers are more difficult to break when they are raw than when they are cooked. And especially for Vata and Kapha, for them, raw food might give lots of energy or lots of lightness for the Vata people, but in the long run, it will have some effect on the body, on the joints, on the bones, and also. In general, in Ayurveda, we prefer cooked food, and raw food, just side dish, or all the fruits, the fibers of the fruits are easy to digest, so we don't call it raw fruits, but they are eaten raw. So take the appropriate quantity, like we saw earlier. The food shouldn't be contradictory in potency. So that means you don't want to eat something that has a cooling effect and with something that has like a stimulating effect. Coffee and milk. Here we are. We have coffee that is stimulating, and milk that is cooling. So here is the perfect example actually, because in your stomach has something to comes with coffee that has a kind of acidic or sour or bitter taste, but that is stimulating. So normally it activates your nervous system after taking coffee. And milk has the opposite quality, that is cooling and cold in potency. And for the nervous system, it should be calming and cooling. So here, the combination of both makes the nervous system going. And not only the nervous system, but all along the digestive tract, you will see that cappuccino or cafe latte, you find some kind of heaviness. If it's in winter, you can digest it better because your digestion it's much better, of a better quality, so you can drink something that has these qualities. But you take a cappuccino in summer, and definitely you feel it in your stomach for quite some time. Eat in a calm environment and nice environment where you're also going to feel that your senses are calm and ready to eat. So the place is also important for you. Eat with the appropriate utensils. So choose chopsticks or spoons or clean hand. Bless the food to receive its nutritional value, so to get the subtle part of the food. You bless it for yourself, and you bless it for the others to have prepared it and all. And that eat not too fast, not too slow, without talking, without laughing. And here it's also to be able to chew enough so you don't swallow bolus into your stomach that will make your digestion heavier. So you need time to chew. And eat with concentration on what you eat, because you want to taste all the different tastes. You have a cauliflower and you say, oh, now I'm going to find out what are the tastes of the cauliflower. Is it sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, astringent? Why not? So when you concentrate like that, you can discover many different things. Or if you keep it a little bit longer in the mouth, not just one taste, many different tastes that comes after. Oh, how does it feel? Does it feel slimy? Does it feel dry? Does it feel dense? Or does it feel slowly vanishing into nothing? All these experience. Habit of the individual. Your different habits. You all have different habits or little tricks or whatever when it comes to food. So what are they? Are they healthy or are they unhealthy? Do you have something specific that belongs to you, the way you approach food, the way you eat food, the way you cook food, the way you choose which food you're going to take? For example, if we go to the shop and at the vegetables and fruits, you can see people how they choose. They will choose either by looking, by pressing, by smelling. So what is your habit when it comes to food? Also, what is your responsibility? So here we deal with the little angel of the little demon. You know that ice cream after the meal doesn't feel good, but the little demon says, yes, but maybe this time you will feel good. Maybe this time you won't feel heavy. So you eat. So the responsibility of, that's why I'm feeling heavy, that's why I have indigestion, that's why I have problem with the stomach or acidity or some belching or diarrhea or whatever. So also your habit. Are you someone that when you feel something is happening in your body, by habit you're going to adapt your food to regulate and come back to a healthy state, or you forget because the taste is too important and the liking is too important that whatever happens after, under, doesn't matter. You just carry on. If it's warm dessert, but sweet, it's also bad. If it's something that is slightly astringent, little bit sweet but slightly astringent, that has this astringent property, then it's good.